Another country follows Taiwan's example and proves that adopting mask use early on to stop the spread of the coronavirus is one of the most effective ways to preserve a little bit of freedom and normalcy, even if your own version of normalcy means sunning your bare scrotum down by the lake. In the Czech Republic, mask use in public is mandatory. It's been that way since the middle of March, and Czech politicians have been setting a pretty good example by wearing masks for at least a month now at public press conferences. Here's the president of the Czech Republic offering his Easter message from behind a mask. And when the Czechs say this is mandatory for everyone, they mean it. Look at this story from the UK Sun. It's a bit goofy, but it tells a tale of how masks are the best way to fight the disease and also keep tyranny at bay. Nudists sunbathing at a beauty spot were collared by coronavirus cops for not wearing protective face masks. They were reprimanded by Czech police and warned that although clothes may be optional, the life-saving masks are definitely not. But with the Czech government insisting that face masks be worn at all times in public, police soon arrived to enforce the rules. Unfortunately, the sunbathing citizens were in one place in larger numbers, and some did not even have a mask, police spokeswoman Markéta Janovská told local media. Citizens can be without clothes in places designated for this purpose, but they must have their mouths covered and must observe the numbers in which they can go into nature. Officers checked on 150 people enjoying the town's lakes and found roughly half without the required protection. So the Czech cops only got uptight about a large number of people gathered together, but not because they were gathered in public and enjoying nature in their own particular way, but because the people were gathered together without masks. You know, unlike these Canadian tyrants here who ticketed a man some $800 and some odd when he was out rollerblading with his kids, the kids he lives with, while nowhere near anyone else. And at least those Czech cops have masks on, unlike these hypocritical American tyrants who kicked a man off a Philly bus for not wearing a mask while not wearing masks themselves.
Public transportation. If you do not have a mask, you cannot ride public transportation, sir. Sir, you have to get off the bus. You have to get off the bus. Sir. Sir. You gotta get off the bus, man. I'm gonna have the cops take you off, one or the other. You have to get off, you have to get off, you have to get off. Let's go.
I have to get off?
Yes, sir.
Even though I have it?
You don't have no mask. Let's go. Let's go. You gotta get off. Let's go. Let's go. You gotta get off. Let's go.
But you know what? I'm generally an anti-nudity prude, like a younger version of Dana Carvey's church lady, and I'm proud of it. I've come to terms with it, but the Czechs are onto something good here. Even if I would like to see all genitals covered in public for the same reason I'm pro-mask, to stem the spread of infectious diseases. The Czechs are letting people live their best lives. Let it all hang out if they want to, as long as they do it with a mask on. It's been the law there since March 18th for Czechs to wear a mask whenever they leave the house. Now, that was way before Canada flip-flopped on the issue of masks in public, recommending them now after months of telling us not to wear them, and well before the American CDC said it's a good idea to wear a mask. It was already a law in the Czech Republic, and the Czechs were getting blowback for their decision from many in the mainstream media. Now, we know that mask wearing has made all the difference in Taiwan. But what about the Czech Republic, where wearing masks isn't really part of the culture in the same way it is in many Asian places where they have to fear a Chinese-spawned super virus every few years or so? Well, the proof of the pudding is always in the eating. So let's look at how the Czech mask law is working out for the Czech Republic. Canada's population is about 3.5 times bigger than the Czech Republic, and Canada, of course, is much less densely populated, and yet we Canadians enjoy a much higher rate of infection and death caused by the coronavirus. I pulled the numbers of coronavirus infections and deaths from April 13th, 2020 for both Canada and the Czech Republic. The Czechs had 6,022 confirmed cases of coronavirus and 143 deaths. At 3.5 times the population, we should have roughly 3.5 times these numbers, if we don't consider that Europe has been experiencing the disease for longer than North America has. But Canada has a lot more than 21,000 cases of coronavirus right now. We have nearly 26,000 cases, and we have a lot more than 500 deaths. In fact, we have 764 deaths. Canada is much worse. In Canada, maybe it's time to let our people back out into nature and back out into the economy, but with masks. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel and ring the little bell so you never miss a story. Now, a lot of the mainstream media outlets in Canada are pretty unskeptical of the World Health Organization, and many of them have repeated Chinese communist propaganda verbatim with regard to coronavirus numbers in mainland China. You won't see that sort of thing from us. If you would like to support our journalism during this pandemic, please go to helprebelnews.com.